Well, of the 5 that you listed, to me, the JFK one would make the biggest difference.
Well, because the theories that the CIA was in on it, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen the freaking video that is floating around now?
That's the thing. It's fucking literally impossible to tell with anything. But I will say one thing that I ponder on every single time I see a pigeon.
The birds, the spy device thing?
I don't know if it's a spy device, but I've never seen a baby pigeon. Nobody's ever seen a infant pigeon.
Now,
a pigeon is just like a bird that comes in one size and it looks the same every time.
And so what do you think they are?
They could be robots.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Well, all right. Battle raps, cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is...
Let's go, baby. Welcome back to the Party with Strategy podcast. A very special guest. He's so beautiful, I'm already tripping up on my words. I'm sorry. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We got my boy James, a.k.a.
What's up, bro?
A.k.a. Dorian Westwood. AKA Milk,
right.
AKA Dilf Sauce. I mean, I gotta imagine there's at least a couple people at the office or something talking about how you're a Dilf, right?
Me and my brothers, our nicknames at the fraternity at U of I I was Chachi during our pledgeship. I was Chachi and he was Meat Spin. Remember Meat Spin?
I remember Meat Spin. Yeah. I got to about 50,000 spins.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, anyone who doesn't know Meat Spin, I don't even know if you can still look it up, but
it's still there. How about Lemon Party?
No, what was it? So there was the blue one. Remember, it was called Blue?
The Blue Waffle.
Oh my God.
It's a good time.
Blue Waffle was. I mean, how old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay, so we were on the same age when we saw that then.
And,
I feel like that's looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's traumatizing stuff. We're what were we like? I was probably 12 when I saw it, maybe older. I don't know.
Yeah, I was at my boy Chris Noche's house. He showed it to us on the computer, and Tub Girl as well. Do you remember Tub Girl?
That was the puking and the pooping, right? No.
Yeah, she was it was like an aerial shot. It was like a drone shot before drones, and she was in the tub with her asshole up, and then she was
shooting
water diarrheaing up, and it was coming back into her mouth, and it was just
what's crazy is that back then, even when you think about it now, you're like, okay, that wasn't AI.
That was not AI. Unless we are in the simulation and it may have, AI.
Because it felt like some scary movie shit, like Scary Movie the movie, where they would do some
the parody.
Exactly, Scary Movie the movie. The
this is my strong hand.
Yeah, exactly, the costume and the makeup, and they would do all that stuff, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, if you see that today, you'd just be like, whatever, but because someone could just generate it, right?
Yeah, I've actually looked up Tub Girl recently, and it's harder to find than you think. It used to be easy to find, and then they banned it because it was, ruining kids' brain cells and things like that.
Yeah, it's weird how that stuff spread around so quick. It's not good stuff. Blue, and it was just such a Blue Waffle, such a unsuspecting name,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll look it up.
That was one of the things you could look up at school.
That's why they did those names for sure.
Exactly.
It wasn't
it wasn't blocked.
Content blocked, right.
Yeah.
What it reminds me of, in my fantasy football chat, you're having deep convos, not deep convos, fun convos, but extensive, not deep, extensive, right?
Yeah.
Long-winded, but not necessarily deep, and you just got to watch out for the link, the URL coming in with the black dude with the huge dick.
The San Francisco Chronicle.
Yeah.
Every time.
Exactly. But in a legal shade, just someone will be talking about current events and then just, drop it in. And I'm like, oh, because it's like the new finger game,
Yeah.
If you get them to click, it's it's whatever. You've seen the guy's wiener a million times. But
my favorite is when they take a current topic like the drones, and then they make them real small in there. They turn them into a drone or whatever, but it's hard to tell. And you got to zoom. It's holy shit! Look at this drone that was over, New Jersey. And you zoom in, and it's just fucking
the dude's
Kimbo slicing his cock.
I haven't seen that where it's like where it's hidden in the air or whatever.
See,
or like mosaic style.
Yeah, it's just in your face. You've only seen it in your face.
Yeah, no, yeah, I was just seeing it, just him chilling on the bed.
So what's up, bro? How you been? It's been a minute.
Yeah, we haven't. I was actually, because on the way over here, because I came from working downtown. I was like, the last. Let me clear the throat. Sorry. Also, so you don't upload live, but you record just one shot, right? Or do you do any editing?
Not unless the guest asks.
We need that list. I was gonna say, just like we need the Epstein list.
Yeah, exactly. There's been a couple things that we've had to edit out. There's been a couple pods we couldn't release, but for the most part,
really, a couple you couldn't release.
Yeah. Yeah, some fucking thoughts just came on here and started rambling about people in the industry and horrible things that they've done or allegedly did under the influence, and I'm like, this is a little, I don't even feel comfortable letting this information out of the bag.
Good that you have that that judgment to pull something back, because you are like, your brand is like the whatever, anything goes, you know.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's like you're the Cook County. What happened to the Cook County Dan Balzerian? That's what because the last time I kind of was like, you were checked in, like, now I know I'm supposed to be the guy as the guest, right? But like, you had the Party with Strategy thing going, right?
Yeah.
Going bonkers. Cook County Dan Balzerian.
Well, like the send nudes thing you're talking, right?
Yeah, okay, right. Okay, so send nudes, right. And then did you just get I remember did you get like your account deleted?
I've gotten multiple accounts deleted.
Right.
At least 4, I want to say, and 1 I got back. There was one time I got it back. I paid some dude $600 on Venmo, and it worked. He got me my account
And
back.
did you were you like, okay, I'm gonna keep the followers and switch the brand?
No, at that point I was still holding strong. Like, we're gonna fucking.
How many years ago did you start the send nudes thing? It was like
2015, 16.
So almost 10 years ago.
Almost, yeah.
Wow. And then how long was that run?
So I did it like the actual send nudes with the stickers that said send nudes probably went till like 2018-ish, and then I switched it to the dicker. I turned my logo into like a dick. Do you remember? The S was the 2 balls and the rest of it was like
I believe
phallic.
So. Oh yeah.
And
which is just hilarious to like explain to me,
Yeah. And those replaced the words send nudes, but it was still the same thing, like put the stickers on naked girls in the club. And I did that probably till 2021, even after the pandemic. When I was in Houston, I was like, all right, we're back, baby, let's go. And that's when I started to realize, from like 2021 until the end of 23 probably was like the whole era of me being like, maybe I don't love this anymore.
This specific vibe.
Yeah. Was like,
because it's I mean, it's not in a bad way. It's exhausting just in general, right?
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot of energy to like keep up a brand in general, an active brand like you had, but then like that specific niche of like, intensity and sexuality and all that, like it's a drain on you for sure.
It was a drain, but I think more than anything, it's like when I was doing it, I fucking loved it. Every single moment of it. Like, that was me, and I was doing what the fuck I loved. Like, the same as
just wilding out.
Just wilding out.
But then where was the switchover between you said where you said, maybe I don't love this?
I think it just came with like the growth, and maybe not even growth is the right word, but just the changing of times through COVID and moving to Houston and getting older and like everything happening at once. I feel like, people change.
Yeah.
I just was continuing to do that because that was really all I knew. That was like so tied into my DJ career. Like that's all. Like,
very
DJ
similar to the Milk
stickers.
And Cooks, like the like, and it just because that's something that I was eventually going to talk about. Like, once you get out of that, you step out, you like free yourself from it. Like this specific brand that like was successful. You're like tied into it, and it's almost like you kind of like, what the hell am I going to do? Like, but you kind of realize that it's a part of the journey overall. You learn so much from it, like just in terms of business and everything, like brand and just who you are. But, and then because I saw when you pulled, I noticed when you did the switch to the podcast, that was basically it, right? It went from send nudes to like podcast.
Sort of. Yeah. Like, with the Send Nudes, we were doing the Strategy and Dolo show.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Which was podcast-esque, but like much more of a show and
Facebook Live,
thought out.
right?
It was on
Yeah.
Facebook Live.
Yeah.
We didn't even know what a podcast
me and Paul were
was.
guests back in the day, and we got fucking tanked here. Was it here? Right?
It was here, in the kitchen. We did shots for shares.
We literally took like fucking 15 shots.
Shots for shares. We used to get at least like 100 shares on the video. So if there was 2 bottles between 4 people, everyone was doing half a bottle, and then the show ends, you fucking end the live, and you're just blasted at the crib with your boys. Like, all right, what do we do now?
Yeah. I remember sitting in the chair out there, just being like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Dude, we can't drive." So it's Strategy and Dolo show, and then to the podcast. Yeah, it's awesome though. And how many episodes deep are you now?
This will be episode 180 or 181, one of the two. Then we got some Patreon episodes, but like it's definitely been a work in progress, and I do love it. It is very enjoyable.
Well, and I genuinely like, I guess it's cool content, because I don't know, how often do you talk about it on the podcast? Do you talk about it a lot, like from your end?
What?
Like, do you talk about the podcast journey and like your development on?
Not really. Sometimes on like a Patreon episode or something, I'll talk. It's more of like a sort of BTS, or like I'll go over the pods that came out that week that I fucking hated or whatever, and like why I hated them, or
with
whatever.
the guests.
No, it's usually just me. Sometimes there's a guest.
No, but like a podcast with a guest, because that's the stuff that's like that is, it's a different type of person. Like I'm like always. Everything. My personality is like everything's awesome. How's the food? How's this? And I'm like fucking awesome. It's just no matter what, because I don't know what it is. I just life's an adventure. It's great. But then there's certain people who are like, you'll like have a guest on and be like, this one fucking sucked.
Yeah. It's like it. Sometimes you could feel it in the moment. You could usually feel it in the moment, but then over the week that it takes for it to come out, it just like irks me little along the way, and it chips away at me, and I'm like, fuck, why did I say that, or why didn't I say that, or maybe it doesn't always necessarily have to be the guest's fault for me to not like a pod. Like it could be me. I could be slacking. I could have fucking domed a whole pizza and woke up an hour ago, rolled out of my fucking bed and walked in here and been like, all right, what's up, bro?
I literally was like, I'm not like, it's not like, I know it sounds like a fratty joke, but I was like, I don't want to like eat carbs and shit before I'm doing this. Like I was literally like eating like protein, chicken breasts, and like cauliflower like throughout the day. I'm like, okay, you hit me up yesterday. If I want to do this, like if I had a bunch of sugar and bread, I would be like feeling like all fucked up.
The brain fog.
Dude, brain fog, the blood sugar fucking spike, where you're like, I'm like, dude, if someone like robbed me right now, like I would be defenseless, because I just feel like shit.
I try
to stay away from that.
Yeah, I'm almost convinced. I mean, I grew up on that. I'm a product of a white trash upbringing, where I just ate Fruity Pebbles and Pop-Tarts and Chips Ahoy.
So your immunity is high, or what?
And my immunity's high, but also, dude, the most fucked up thing is that like that fog, that high, it's a high. It's a high with like a weird crash, but like when you eat shit like that, you are in a different state of mind. And I feel like I lived and grew up in that state of mind that when I eat clean and I feel so good, it almost feels like something's wrong. It feels too good. I'm something bad is happening, even though it's something good. I'm just not used to it.
No, for sure. And because it's like I don't know how the brain works, but like it's generally like, that's why I like to keep moving and keep being productive, because like your brain's naturally trying to find like issues to solve. So like if I'm not giving it stuff to solve, like the day's mission, then like I'm gonna start thinking about things that aren't even fucking wrong, whatever.
That's me thinking about the podcast I just did.
Right.
Picking it apart. That is true. If I don't have like a task to accomplish, I'm my own worst enemy,
for sure. And I'm just like, all right, dude, like I'll at this point, like I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like, I'll do stuff until I literally am like, will fall asleep like right then, because I'm like, God, I don't really want to like, after a day of work and like being a dad and all that, like it's hard to pay attention to anything. Like I don't want to melt my brain on the phone. I'm if I want to like watch a cool show, like I gotta be it's got to be like 7 or 8. I can't do that shit at like 11, you know? I'm just sitting there like, you know, fucking can't even pay attention.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so nervous for the day that comes when I have kids. Excited, but also nervous because my fucking days are... I get to do whatever the fuck I want, bro. I'll complete a little task. I'll knock something off the list. I'll go play a little video games. I'll come back, go to the gym maybe. It's just like a free-for-all. I get to do whatever the fuck I want.
If you keep your entrepreneurship and flexibility high, which is what I've done, like those where you can... I mean... if someone saw like a video of like my general day or week, you know, you might give them anxiety because of like how like regimented it has to be. Like literally like, you know, school, warming up food, batting cages for baseball, and then like Costco, like carrying the kids like on my shoulders, like, you know, walking in and out. But I mean, it's a blast. Like, and I can work from home 2 days a week, be with the kids, you know, work from home, like however I can get done. I mean, you definitely got to be, you know, in the right situation. Like, I mean, not even trying to like go this deep, but when people have like kids with the wrong person, or, you know, they don't even know whatever, like, and then you're not in the right living situation, like it's going to create a stressful environment, you know?
Yeah.
Like Ceci and I we have a nice house in the suburbs. Their school is like a 15-minute walk. It's like literally the most beautiful situation. So it makes it very, you know, very easy to like just do the dad thing, you know?
Well, that's dope. That gives me something to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, keep up that, you know, don't, I mean, parents that have the 9 to 5, God bless them, but if you both have a 9 to 5, you're going to be seeing the kids less. You got to like do the daycare and whatever, and like our daughter's not in daycare. We just swap off, you know, each day, and then our sons are in school, and yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but it's awesome.
Nice. You're out in the burbs, huh?
Yes.
Why did I think you were in Avondale? You used to be, right?
It used to be a long time ago. The Fort Knox, our studio is in Portage Park, which is like, I guess.
Yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know where I've been in Chicago for like 12 years. I should know a map better. But
did tell me
Avondale, like so like it's closer to the water than Portage Park, right?
No, this is still.
God.
I mean, technically, yeah. Like Portage Park is west of here, but this is still Avondale.
Oh, we're in Avondale?
Yeah, we're in Avondale, baby. Welcome.
Like, oh, edit that out, man. I'm like dyslexic, bro. So like,
you did say earlier you were directionally challenged.
Yeah.
So I'll give that to you.
Yeah, for real. Like,
you're still at Fort Knox, though, huh?
Yes, I've had a room up there for 9 or 10 years. I claim to be the oldest living tenant in the building, like some archaeological dig type shit. But they're like there's like 2 or 3 that have been here longer than you. Like, relax, bro.
Do you have the grandfathered in rent or what?
No, they well, I mean, I have such a comfortable relationship with them. Like, Fort Knox Studios is like the greatest place on earth. It's a literal sanctuary.
It really is fantastic.
It's Fortastic. Yeah, right. Delete that one. All right, Dad.
Cut it.
Yeah, cut it, Dad. Get the fuck off the podcast. But no, like I have a relationship with them where like they'll send me like the new lease. You know, it's $50 more, and I'm like, hey, this is cool, but like for the next 2 years, can we like not raise the rent? You know, are we good? Or maybe next year we go down $25, and they just laugh and they're like, fine, you're good for 2 years.
Nice.
But yeah, I've been up at Knox. I'm not going to talk about it because I've learned to just not, don't speak about something, and I don't want to send the energy out. I got to save the energy to build it. But
you got the Mark Norman watch on.
Is the Casio? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he wears, and it always beeps like that on podcasts.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, I just like. Well, I guess to tangent. I won money in fantasy football. I didn't win, but I won money in fantasy football, and I was immediately like, "Ooh, I want to get a watch." And like all my boys were like, I'm like, the max is like $1,000 for like, I'm either gonna get like a dope watch for like $1,000 or a $20 Casio, because I love the way a Casio looks. My grandpa wore a Casio. He had a gold Casio, like, and I didn't even realize it's like got the alarm, the stopwatch, it's got the calendar on there. I'm like, dude, this is like literally the most functional thing ever.
That was the iPhone at one point. Someone wore that on their wrist and looked at it like, damn, dude, this is on my wrist.
Dude, it is literally so, like, I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, I don't want to bring my phone in the sauna. How long, man? Oh, stopwatch. Like I don't need to like pull out my phone, set a timer.
There should be no phones allowed in the sauna.
Yeah, I
think.
I agree with you. And if someone put that rule up, I would abide by it. I don't do that, but I agree with it.
Don't you think that you should get in the sauna to disconnect and clear your mind a
Yes.
little bit?
Usually it's funny. I like reading, and I always bring a book in the sauna. And like right now I'm reading The Wheel of Time, like fantasy nerd.
You read like fairy smut?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I think I could contextually figure it out. But you know the Wheel of Time series? It's like there's like Lord of the Rings, what's the other fucking one? Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, and Wheel of Time. Those are
the big three.
The big three.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Harry Potter's like adjacent. But anyway, I'm always scared because the fucking sauna heats up so much that it will melt the glue and the binding. So I've had a few books where like I was reading this one book and like the pages are just peeling out, and I'm like in one, like I love a book. It's like an artifact, right? Like I don't like if my kids like rip a page or throw a book or like, are disrespecting our bookshelf. I'm like, what the fuck? Like this is like someone wrote this shit and like it was, printed with like organic material. Like, it's a beautiful thing, a book. And then so I'm in the sauna and like one page comes out and like, I'm like, oh my God, like this is like ruined because you can't, what fucking the dangling page. Like I'm OCD with that shit too, with just anything in general. But the dangling page, you can't put it back in. The only person I've ever seen fix a fucking book binding is Joe from the series You. I don't know if you ever watched that.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Where he like does the whole like book thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that.
They gotta have some book glue on Amazon.
I don't know, dude. It's pretty like, unless they like to stick a page in that like crease, like I don't know, it's some hardcore shit. But either way, like bringing a book in the sauna, I like if it's a new book, you got like the first like I'm like wait till it warms up 5, 7, 9 minutes, and I'm like, so this Wheel of Time book, it doesn't pop. So like the other book that I was reading, the pages started falling out, and I was like, okay, so there's like levels of glue.
So now you know which books to look for, how they're built.
No, I don't. But I just hope that it doesn't fall out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought there was a particular style. Maybe
There
you could
probably
get,
is, but like I'm surprised that there's like different types of glue.
Maybe sauna books is what the world needs from you. They're printed like a 5-star trapper with the metal spiral, so there's no glue.
Right. For like the one fucking guy, right? The one dude. The that's actually a hilarious skit. It's like a guy coming up with like a super niche business that like, him and like nobody else in the world is like gonna use like sauna books. Like Shark Tank pitching it, all this. And they're like, I've never even heard anyone even like think of this at all. Have you? And like, no, Doug, I think you're on your own here. Like,
yeah,
we're out. So I was also thinking about awesome stuff that we could talk about. I don't know if we have ever spoken about it on the phone, but UFOs. You got to give me your.
Oh man,
because we can start there and then we could go anywhere because what I heard in the car on the way over. Basically, Anna Paulina Luna, she's like a congresswoman in Texas, I think, or Florida, one of those two, I think Florida. She's got like a task force, and they're going to release the JFK files, Martin Luther King files, the big five, 9/11, Epstein list, and UAP stuff. All 5 of those are supposed to be coming, right? And that was literally like what I was listening to on the way over here, and I'm like, okay, like... doesn't get much better than that, for like a fellow. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I don't know if you are.
I mean, I like to dabble. I like to think about it. I like to know. I like to question and
right. I don't believe people like. Do you believe in that? I'm like, what do you mean believe, bro? I'm not just trying to. I'm like, it's fun to ponder, like what the possibilities are. Like believe. Like what do you mean? Is my personality built off of it? No, but and if someone proved to me like. We have 100% proof that like 9/11 was, totally was the dudes from Saudi Arabia, like 100%. I'd be like, okay, whatever. Like, it sounds good, but
yeah, it was fun to watch Loose Change, but you got this one,
right? Exactly, dude, dropping the loose change, right? But what's your opinion on the old UFO situation?
I don't think about it much, and especially now. Like I like listening to stuff about it. I love Rogan's episodes with Bob Lazar and like all that shit, and
That's
his
just crazy.
theories are very thought inspiring, and I like that. But my truest thought on it is like I don't even give it the time of day at this point, because I don't know what's real and what's not in things that I know exist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I 100% agree, because the amount of time of I have like a UFO tattoo on my arm, right? But the amount of time in my day or week that goes to pondering UFOs is like maybe 30 seconds. Like,
I thought you were a big.
because like if I want to go watch like what's not James Frazier, it's the guy that he was a guest on Rogan, but he did the documentary about the UFOs in Varginha, Brazil. And then he did this one recently called The Program, and it just goes through like the Pentagon program. And like, yeah, if I'm gonna spend some time on it, like I'll dive into it. I mean, there's so like I think that there's so much anecdotal evidence that it's just like this avalanche where I'm at a point where, okay, either everyone's crazy, you know, or either everyone's crazy or it's real. In my personal opinion on all of this stuff is that like if insert, you know, crazy mystery, you know, you can call it a conspiracy, or insert crazy mystery theory, right? If it's true, it makes life a lot more interesting. And like, that's just my basis for wanting to believe in it.
Yeah.
Or not believe in it, but like, you know, if it's not true, cool. I wouldn't want to, you know, I don't know, like when you talk about like negative things like the JFK thing, it's like kind of like, you know, not that cool to like analyze because it's like a dude got shot in the head, you know?
Yeah. Well, of the 5 that you listed, to me, the JFK one would make the biggest difference.
Hey, yeah. Well, because the theories that the CIA was in on it, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen the freaking video that like is like floating around now? The most recent, like, apparently the theory is that the Zapruder film was like doctored, right?
Uh-huh.
And the most recent video that's like this crystal clear video of the Zapruder film with some like, I don't know, like it looks like it's like more focused in, or like it's like the frame is not cropped.
Did they AI generate frames or something like?
Well, in the old video, apparently like there's a tree that's like, you know, like there's like a tree that's like not pasted the right way in the original video, like that's missing like the trunk. But the one that came out, like, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but you can see the driver turn around and like shoot him in the head. They're going, and then the driver turns and he's got a handgun and he shoots him in the head, and it's like super clear. And I'm like, yeah, I guess these days you can. In the last 2 years, it's like, who fucking knows now with AI, right? But
that's the thing. It's fucking literally impossible to tell with anything. But I will say that the one thing that I ponder on every single time I see a pigeon.
The birds, the spy device thing?
I don't know if it's a spy device, but I've never seen a baby pigeon. Nobody's ever seen a infant pigeon.
Now, we could Google it right now and find it, right? Which I hate. I hate the fact that you could like just Google these things, right? Because I agree with you. I don't think I've ever seen like a pigeon with its like children.
I've seen a lot of pigeons, and they've all just been pigeon. Like a pigeon is just like a bird that comes in one size, and it looks the same every time.
And so, what do you think they are?
They could be robots.
Yeah, I mean that's I've on the conspiracy spectrum. You know, there's people that say, I mean, and these are the things where I'm like that's funny that you're saying it. I'm like, hell no. Like people say, yeah, all birds are like listening devices, right? I'm like, okay, like. And it's crazy because I'll be talking to like I was at a chiropractor, and like the dude's like, you know, dropping stuff that like I agree with or whatever, and then he's like JD Vance is like Paul Walker in a fat suit and he's alive. And I'm like and he's like super serious and like super passionate about it, like is like saying it like dead serious, and he's like the chiropractor. He's like, yeah, no, JD Vance is like Paul Walker's alive, and it's JD Vance, and he's in a fat suit. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know about that one.
That's like Big Mike.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's crazy because I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how much.
Big Mike, not the
I don't know how
pigeons.
deep I want to go. Hey, did you hear that? It looks like they're getting divorced. See, why don't you explain to your audience who Big Mike is?
Big Mike is allegedly the man behind the meat suit that is Michelle Obama.
Yeah, right. And what I've heard is that like her and Barry are getting divorced, and like apparently, yeah, it's like, what does apparently even mean, right? Allegedly, apparently, Jennifer Aniston and Barack are a thing.
I'm not mad at him for that.
I mean, infidelity in a marriage. I'm like, okay,
that's not great, but
right. Like,
how do we know she didn't start?
When you have the like the cast of characters we're talking about, it's like really hard to not just like see it as like, these people who aren't really real, like, because they're so detached from our reality.
Yeah.
Big Mike. That situation's I have my opinions, but I mean, I'll probably withhold some of those.
Yeah, it might be for the best.
Yeah, right.
Shouts to Long Drink for sponsoring the podcast. Absolutely the best cocktail you can get out there. That's exactly what it is. A cocktail in a can. It's not a seltzer. As you can tell, it's not one of those stupid, long, skinny cans that makes you look like an idiot stick when you're drinking it. This is good stuff. Anyone I give one of these to asks me what it is, where they can get it, and why they haven't had it before. I'm putting people on. You guys are next. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the program. Go to your local liquor store. Target's got them. Wherever you can. Grab a long drink today. Enjoy. Watch the pod. Let's get back to it. Thank you. But I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, please. I've been just blabbering.
I want to know how like life after full-time DJing is. Speaking of full-time DJing.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. You have to like fall into it and like find, who you are.
Yeah.
Which I think it's like, it's funny because, I feel like so many people's journey, there's like a classic archetype of you find something you love to do, or like, you're finding success, and then you feel like that is, who you are. And then things go a certain way. And there's a lot of, like, me and Paul did the Milk and Cooks thing. Like, we produced a ton of music. We had a huge remix, the Garrix remix. Toured around the country. We toured around the world. We really did most of it independently. We had help from Peter, who was our manager, who was doing React Presents. And then our buddy Nick, who's killing it now with, like, Enzo and them. And, when you're in it, it's kind of like, you have the midlife crises and whatever. And we did that for like 10 years. I'm like 18 to 28 pretty much. 18, it was like, I was when I taught myself how to DJ. And I guess, I mean, life after DJing full time, DJing full time is fucking, I don't know how you're 5 nights a week, you're up till 2 or 3 in the morning?
Not 5. I really try and do, right now I'm really only doing 2. I'm doing Friday, Saturday, but I have 2 sets on Friday. So I have like a 12 to 2
so you're
normally. Weekend, but but still full time.
Jordan V, was it Jordan V that was doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or was his name Jordan V?
There was a Jordan V for sure. That was before my time.
Who's the guy that had the shaved head?
That's Jordan.
Yeah.
V-neck.
Yeah, and he moved to Vegas, right?
Okay. Yeah.
No, but I remember like seeing his schedule one time, and it was like 6 days a week, and he like ripped that for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, but if he was probably making like $500 a gig, so you're making like, I don't know the math, but like, probably $200,000 a year.
Yeah, somewhere around
there.
Yeah,
so you can like sleep during the day and shit and whatever. But I'm still DJing a lot. Like I DJ at the spots that I run downtown. I got involved with this K-pop stuff, which is amazing, and it's hilarious that like me, random white guy, got involved in this. But that's a very interesting situation because like, I guess the point on that is sometimes something's happening in your life that you don't know is kind of like prepping you for like another situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
and I was doing like these Friday nights doing our K-pop thing, and then at one of the bars I run, because I was just tasked with, as the creative director, build the K-pop night. You know, whether you're the DJ or you're booking someone, like this is a part of your shit, like do it. And I'm like, okay, I'll just do it because I don't know anyone else that I don't know a freaking K-pop DJ. So for like 3 years I did that, and then I just got so comfortable. Like, you know, anytime you play, if you're like an honorable DJ, like you want to do it the best, you want to prep the music, you want to learn the music, you want to learn from the people that are coming from there, you know? So like I got all these requests and like information for 3 years that like, it was basically like I was being trained on a model. And then fast forward 3 years later, and like then people start contacting me as like this guy who's the K-pop DJ. So I'm like accidentally getting popular in this K-pop DJing, and like I'm literally on a tour right now. I don't know if you've seen like the first time I really showed it was the last post I did, but like Indianapolis almost sold out, and I just walk in, it's like a packed room. I just like burn it down with these K-pop bangers. We have like dance crews and stuff.
Wait, so the company you work for, you're the creative director, and they said, well, you want to start a K-pop night. First and foremost, why did they want to start a K-pop night?
Because it's a Korean bar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
a Korean bar in River North, and like, you know, I mean, you can figure out where it's at. I'm gonna, you know, I like to keep a little mystery, just especially because we're on a podcast, right?
Yeah.
But it's Korean bar in River North, and we have 3 entities that are all like, you know, near each other. And they were like, yeah, you know, K-pop's a part of the Korean, you know, not fusion, like that, no one likes that word, but like new age Korean stuff. So they tasked me with doing it. And like, literally the first like few months, like every Friday, I'm like shitting my pants. Like, I don't know the music at all. I'm just like downloading music, like a hilarious story. And my brother was trying to help me out for like one of the New Year's Eves, the first New Year's Eve. So it was like only a few months in.
And this is a K-pop New Year's Eve.
Yeah. We just decided to do K-pop music on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, I'll send you like a folder of K-pop stuff that I found. So he sends me like these 200 songs, and I like live during the set. Like I have like my music, and I have all the stuff that he has. And in the middle of the set, I like basically realized that like all these tracks, like he ripped them from somewhere, and they're like skipping as I'm playing them. So I'm like hearing it over the speakers, you know, and like, but it's fine. Like, I don't care at all. It was hilarious. I was laughing about it because it's like, I hear it, because if you're an attentive DJ, you could tell something's wrong right away, you know? But I didn't know which ones were the ones from him or not. So like every time I'm playing a track, I got to listen to my headphones for like 30 seconds to see if it starts to like glitch. But yeah, they tasked me with building the K-pop night up, and then this nationwide tour, that like this, it's very interesting, dude. There's this guy he lives in Boston, and he does like a K-pop night, a Taylor Swift cover night, and like a Bollywood night. He runs it all from Boston, all remotely, and just like triangulates like promoters and venues around the country, and just does it all over email.
It's fucking nuts, dude. I can't even get people to show up where I'm at, and I'm fucking there. This is insane.
That's what I said. He's in Boston, and he's like 3 or 4 pop-up parties, with each of them have like 50 stops around the country. They're door deals. He like scours Instagram and like the local city for like the DJs and the promoters, puts it together.
And is this working because they're so niche? Like, I've never even heard of a K-pop party in this city. Now, granted, I'm not tapped into the scene.
Yeah,
so.
right. No. It works because they're niche, but like with the K-pop thing, like, oh my gosh, man, it's like so cool, and like, because I've never, one of those, this is the irony behind like this whole arc of this story, is that like, for Milk and Cooks, like these twin house electro DJ producers, right?
Yeah.
Like tank tops trying to fucking, you know, bro out and take over the world. Like I was like, we were trying to like force ourselves to like be that like EDM thing for so much, you know? And like we found a lot of success, a lot more success than most people. And we were kind of one of the first. So like, it was this amazing journey that like I'll forever be grateful for.
You guys were in the Chainsmokers
video,
selfie video. Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of stories that people don't even know.
Well, let's get one real
Yeah.
quick. Well, maybe we'll save it for when we do Milk and Cooks.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. But like, because remember the Chainsmoker story? Because it's just cool, like cool checkpoints. I was gonna say pressure points. Of like things that like happen throughout our career that like people don't know about, that like kind of just validate like how, we, even though like I can say like we were, fratty like douchebags, like, going after it, like we still were cool. And we still had like our shit together. For like young cats that were like had, no idea what the fuck was going on. But yeah, that's so like the whole scope, the Milk and Cooks journey was like kind of, I mean, dude, we got to like see the world. It was like, it's like the greatest thing ever. And what's even more great is that like, because you can see it from like, oh, it didn't work out or like whatever. It's like, no, that was like the fucking jump off point. Like Milk and Cooks and like all these people we met, all these things we learned through like trial and error and like failing and like PR and branding and, not spending enough time producing. Like we're talented producers. My brother's a really talented producer. I'm better at like, sample-based producing and like events and like being a director. All of these things that you learn from that, then I got into photography and into design and promotion and marketing and audio and tech. Like it all, that initial career thing was like the foundation that like took me and him to these like new levels of like being grown up and, and then I'm building a family and all that. But now like the thing that I always yearned for of being like in control and confident, like behind a DJ booth, like so much of the Milk and Cooks career was so anxious, trying to put on a set that we thought people wanted us to put on, right? And of course we killed it a lot of times, and like, but a lot of these clubs and festivals, like everyone's on fucking drugs and they'll basically dance to anything, So like, especially back then, like you're coming out with a few bangers and you're mixing pretty good, like you're the best.
A-okay.
Yeah, you're A-okay, right? Like, yeah. But then you get to this thing like this K-pop stuff where, bro, like no DJs that I know, I'm not saying no DJs that will do it, but like I had to book a DJ in Nashville for this guy. His DJ didn't show up, so I had to reach out to my network. I send the DJ my music folder, and like afterward, he's basically like, dude, that was like the most intense fucking thing. He's like, I wanted to like shoot myself the whole time because he didn't know like how to interact with the crowd or like what the fuck the dynamic was. And me, after 3 years, I guess this is like the whole funny, ironic point is that like I've never felt more comfortable, more in control, and like more confident in any DJ set than I have with these K-pop crowds. And it was, something that I always wanted to feel. Milk and Cooks, doing the clubs, touring around the world, festivals, always had this anxiety of like I wasn't prepared enough, didn't know what direction I was going to go in. The K-pop stuff, now I come in, I have like 200 tracks. I'm mixing better than I've ever mixed in my life. Just giving all of these sound, every single song that they want to hear, the songs they know, all this stuff, and mixing them like, some old school 8-track shit, like looping in and out, everything's matched up, like previewing tracks, and I'm like not, totally sober doing it, just having like the most fun, and they go crazy. And
so why is that? What is it that you were? I mean, I could imagine when you were doing Milk and Cooks and that anxiety and that never settling in and feeling comfortable. Yeah. I could relate to that so deeply. I still feel that to this day. There's sometimes I get up there and I'm all right, let me try and give them what I think they think that I know that they want, you know? And it's like this mind fuck that you can't get out of, where really you're right. Like if I just played shit that I really like that fits the room, we're going to have the best night ever.
Right. You got to be, and it's weird. It's like, I mean, every scenario is different, and it's like, it's this blossoming thing. Like that's why like, the K-pop thing, it's just like, I tell people about it, they're like, that's the last thing on earth I would thought that like you, and it was, and I mean, I believe in God, I believe in like the spiritual aspect of the universe, like all of that, and being like, pretty much my new life motto is, trying your best as often as possible to make the best decision for yourself and anyone around you as frequently as possible, right? Like that's what I want to be doing, making the best choice as often as possible, and like really consciously making those. And when I started doing that for years ago, like 5 years ago, I started becoming a dad and all that stuff, and like really caring about making the best decision for myself in whatever aspect. It's like the path, the opportunities just start to open up, right? And the like that's what I was doing during building this K-pop night. I was just doing what I was told to do, and I was trying to do it the best way I could possibly do it. Learning all this new shit, being a student, always being a student of the game, right? Learning the music, taking in the music. Not, there's the DJs that won't take a request ever. I was taking in for 3 years in a row, every Friday, taking every single request that come up. Can you play this? I had an iPhone with an aux cable, plugged in on channel 3 or channel 4, and I would be mixing my shit, and I would play the 20 songs that got requested, and I would blend them in off Spotify with my shit. No one would even be able to tell, because you do that slick, right? You crank up the trim on the fucking iPhone one, and every single request I would save in a playlist. And then over 3 years, I just started refining, and I would pay attention to the crowd. What do they react to? What do they not like? Whatever. Till I built up this like basically a library of freaking nuclear bombs, bro. Where like now I have a 3-hour set that like I can look at it and I'm like, okay, every single song is like, even in their different styles, whatever. It's all in the K-pop world. But that's what it's that preparing and just trying to do my best and be a student and not have an ego about it. Like I'm kind of milk and cooks, travel the world, and then and then not really DJ for a little bit, and then like cool, I'm doing this like K-pop residency thing.
Yeah,
and just being grateful for that opportunity, right? And then it's just started to like pop off in this amazing and like beautiful way, and like. This K-pop, it's Korean pop. I'm a tall white guy. Like sometimes I walk in there, they're like, is this guy gonna know what's up? Like even though the crowd is mixed, the crowd's like Asian, white, black, Hispanic. It's like a total mixed bag. But I think a lot of people, assume like, maybe there would be a Korean guy doing it.
I would definitely. It's so you walk into the fucking sushi spot and it's not a Japanese guy back there making your sushi. You're like, what?
Well,
what's
in Chicago, it could be a Hispanic guy.
That's what I'm saying.
They still kill it though.
But they know how to like blend in a little bit. They know how to make it questionable.
But
you're like, is that guy
right.
Japanese or is he Hispanic?
Yeah, you're right. Like the Filipino vibe. But if you see a white guy at a Japanese place, you give him a look and then you're like, he must know his shit, right? You get, it's like you're not gonna have I mean if you're at like the $10 all you can eat, maybe not but so like if I'm touring and they have this and there's like 2, 3, 4, 500 people, like I did Canopy Club, like I going back to Canopy Club, like I opened for Skrillex at Canopy Club 12 years ago, 14 years ago, and then I'm going back doing the K-pop tour, and it's like huge crowd, and I'm just like there in Canopy Club, like where I went to school, like it's so cool. Like
that's awesome.
This full circle thing. But I lost my train of thought. But
what you said about like making the best decision for yourself is definitely a thing that I think about all the time, because it's that easy. It's that easy, but it's also that hard. You know what I mean? Like,
but you have like I mean, I've spent my life making the best decision for myself about 70% of the time.
Right.
And then you're at that 70, whether it's with your body, your diet, partying, drinking, whatever, like there's some people that have, they are at 10% and they're, fucked.
They don't even know the difference between a good and a bad decision.
Right. Exactly.
They can't make a good decision because they can't recognize it.
Yeah, it'd be lucky. It would just be guessing, right?
Yeah.
But once you have to sit in, because I guess we talked. I haven't been drinking for like 2 months. Haven't like nothing, no vaping, no nothing. Then like really cutting out a lot of other stuff, like no things that men get distracted by and want to watch, that
jerking
type of stuff.
off and porn.
Yeah, none of that.
How long has that been?
2 months.
2 months. Okay, yeah. This whole thing is all clumped into one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had been building up to it for a few years, where I knew this day was coming, with the switch the switch point.
You're
like,
just getting every nut out that you could, or what?
no. Like, I mean, if we're gonna be vulgar, like,
Just
I'm
drinking
saying,
tequila, jerking off at the same time.
no porn. Okay, and it's not weird to say, but just no porn.
No, it's not weird to say, and it needs to be said because that shit fucks you up. It fucks me up, bro. That's like one thing I struggle with all the time.
So, okay, I like myself, you're good for like a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever it is. Drinking, popping a fucking Adderall, whatever. Guys would go, oh, it's the weekend, we're in our 30s. Like, guys want to do fucking drugs, like, people do that. Once you get to the fucking the inflection point, which I hit, which I knew was coming, it was like this freaking, I could feel it. It was like a narrowing of perspective from the last 3 years. The walls were just coming in, and I wasn't stressed about it. I just knew. I'm 34 now. I'm like, this day is coming, and then it hit, and like, I mean, it hasn't been hard at all to cut all, because I just knew I have, like, my children are young. I want to be an even better dad than I think I am, and I want to do better with business. I want to be more successful. I mean, your youth is like, people talk like this when they're fucking 50, 60 and say like, you don't know, how fleeting your youth is and all that stuff, whatever. And I'm like, dude, I want to be like taking in every second of like opportunity when I'm young, that I have now. Cause I spent many years learning. I'm not going to say, cause I don't regret like not kind of living this lifestyle. Cause like, I still want to fucking party, have a good time, but I want something else more right now, which is like to be locked in. And what I told my brother, it's interesting because this is the biggest difference I've seen is, okay, like basically my whole life, I guess, or especially the last few years, you always feel like you're resetting. You go out, a few days, and then you're recovering, you're hungover a couple days, whatever. For real, the last 2 months have felt like one day. And I just close my eyes for a little bit, I sleep, and then I wake up and I'm like, okay, I'm still here. And I'm like off to the races. And I don't feel like there's been no break in focus, no break in direction, in purpose, in intention of what I'm trying to do. And it starts building on itself where I'm like, okay, now I'm feeling like invincible. The only thing that's going to stop me from like achieving the things I want to do is like, you got to run me over with the car, because I'm so locked in.
But so you have to have some kind of vice, even if it's the least impactful vice, even if it's
the vice. I mean, the vice
food or what is popping up now, because it's like whack-a-mole. Like you get rid of one and then another one pops up.
100%. And like, and during the last 2 months, it has been like, maybe a couple too many cookies. Like my kids, there's like we got this, that, we got these croissants in the morning, and like I love like a fat glass of vanilla soy milk and fucking some cookies, or I'll take vanilla soy milk with a bunch of granola and just nosh that before bed.
Nice.
Oh, and it's healthy. No, it's fucking 1 a.m. and like I'm doing this. Like, no, I'm still waking up like, ugh. But then I'm like, okay, now I'm like, okay, let's cut that out. The vice now is like, man, but that's also the thing is like, I guess I should apologize for saying like so much. I already know. I'm gonna listen back and be like,
that shit, like, look at that. That shit just goes away after 10 minutes though. Like it's even the AI, now that I'm transcribing talk to text for these clips I'm making, AI most of the time now, this is a recent thing it just started doing, is cutting out the likes.
In the transcribing or
in the text, when like I'll make a clip of this pod,
right,
and then it'll transcribe it for the text on the screen, and it starts cutting out some of the likes, the ones that you don't really need.
And
our brains do that too. You're listening to a pod, and it's just,
and I appreciate the support.
It's whatever,
in my
because we're just free flowing. This isn't.
No, I know, but it's also, you look at it and I want to think, okay, geez. Can I not control? I mean, I don't know if it's like a manners thing, but like, whatever. By the way, Is it just me, or is it 1,000 degrees in here?
It's probably a little hot, yeah.
Because these freaking lights. I mean,
The
there's no AC. I just gotta man up. And,
yeah. Well, you're not wearing white or gray, so you won't get pit stains. You'll be all right.
Yeah, thank God. I'm smarter than that, dude.
I got a hoodie and a
I don't know how you
knit hat on.
Yeah, jeez.
My nuts are sitting in a pool right now.
My nuts are reading a book in the sauna. Where were we at? With the life talks. Oh, the Vice.
Yeah, the Vice.
I just try, dude. I really love going to the, like, it's funny how your perspective can switch, like, because having a Vice is kind of like this, like, escape thing, right? So, okay, where do I want to, like, take a break? One, I don't need to escape. I mean, thank God, I don't feel like I need to escape anything. The things I do for work, I love. They're truly a blessing. My kids are amazing. Ceci is amazing. Our where we live, it's all great, and it's busy. But like, I love going to the movies or watching a good movie. I'm obsessed with even bad, cinematography or bad movies, bad TV shows. So that's kind of like, isn't it crazy? Because really, my vices have switched from all the regular stuff that men do. Partying. When I say partying, everyone men dabble with drugs here and there, right? Everyone gets down on something. I'm
high on mushrooms right now.
You, what's up?
I'm high on mushrooms right now.
Are you really?
A little bit.
Yeah, nice. I'm like, yeah, you guys seem like you're off, man. Just like send a dude into a spiral. I got a crazy mushroom story. Dude, the LA Fitness story. If you want to, we can. But the Vices, to finish that point.
I got you. I'm gonna write it down. I have some things written down that we'll go back to.
But yeah, I mean, when you tighten everything up. And I'm really at a point where, as I said, I was going to say it like I said, but as I said, it's felt like one long day. And I want to exercise. I want to get stuff done. I want to be with my kids. Right now I'm trying to work out not being so high strung, like with my kids and having the house clean and being OCD. Because you have 3 kids, there's 5 of us living in the house. I really am OCD, and I've had to let go of shit just being everywhere, and then having to clean the whole fucking house, like every other day, like the whole house. And because I need it, I can't work at home unless the house is locked in. And so those are the things I'm trying to work on. But vice wise, like a little croissant from Costco, a little Severance on Apple TV past my bedtime. Those are the vices now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm like, the best decision for yourself. Like, okay, absorbing this awesome, cultural cinema content, that's because how is that going to affect me? Okay, that's one decide, or, intersected with what time it is. Like, am I going to wake up? I need 5.5 hours of sleep to be crushing. But under that, so like those, it's once you start to shift things, you still have these decisions to make, like staying up too late versus, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't even really think I have a lot of energy. I'm really focused and I'm excited to be doing the things I'm doing just because it's my favorite quote from the Earl Nightingale. Well, there's a couple great quotes, but, life is an amazing adventure and we should make the most of it. Like, it doesn't really get better than that,
Yeah.
That's why when you call me, I'm just like, boom, another adventure. Like, let's go rock.
The kid's locked in. I like it. Clean bulk.
Yeah. It's wild. Just you can just start dialing in so much stuff. Not drinking. I'm exercising. Okay, now there's that guy on YouTube, like Mike. His name's Mike. The sports scientist, it's Renaissance Periodization, RP Strength. But he's a dude that'll say, he'll break down Joe Rogan's training routine and he'll do this, and he's like a doctor who does all this stuff and like talks about timing your carbs and doing this shit, stuff that I would never even have thought about. But I'm like, okay, well maybe maybe I won't have to like take a 20-minute nap during the middle of the day if I like, don't eat, all that food at once and randomly.
Yeah, I feel that. It's always a constant tweak of shit. But
the iterations.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, though. I had this written down about K-pop when you were talking about it. Is it similar to any other genre of music in the sense?
It's amazing. It's the full spectrum of genres. Okay, so every genre you can think of, like bass music, house music, pop music, reggaeton beats, hip hop, trap hip hop, even like country, R&B, soulful music, all of those in American culture music, just transpose it into Korean American English with that tone, that tenor of Korean American, and then that's what you get. You just copy and paste over every genre from American music. And then,
well, I don't even know what that means. So are you playing a lot of remixes? Is there like a K-pop remix of Too Sweet by Hoosier? Or is it like...
No, it's all original music.
It's all original music.
Yes, but the style, so like you'll get... They have the K-pop producers are like music scientists. These are like Asians probably locked in a fucking lab. And these are the smartest motherfuckers on the planet, like scientifically. And they're mimicking all the fattest house music, all the fattest reggaeton, all the fattest hip hop, the fattest 808s you could ever imagine, the cleanest productions from American music, but then using their K-pop artists. So they're building all these instrumentals. So like in K-pop music, you could have something that sounds like, some bass artist, but it's got the K-pop artist singing, and all the vocals are usually mixed with Korean and English in the vocals. So like the hook will be in English and then the verses will be in Korean.
And everything is different tempos. It's not it's not like a pretty narrow tempo rate like house music.
No, it's literally 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 160, 180, up and down the whole thing.
Really?
Bro, it's literally a whole new world, as they say. And that's what I started to learn. I'm like, oh my gosh, I listen to some of these songs because people request music. And I'm like, dude, this is literally like, a J Balvin beat, a fat ass J Balvin beat with a dope ass hook in Korean. And then like XG, the song, it's funny, I just got the chills because this XG song hits so hard. It's like, and it's not like, the thing is that when people think of K-pop, it's had a stigma for being cheesy, right? And like the da 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 da, like like this kind of like cheerleader music,
like which some Disney shit or something,
right? Which it did. But like, can you play music on here, or
it would probably get flagged on YouTube, which wouldn't do anything. It's not like I'm having millions of views and thousands of dollars taken from me.
Right.
So we could, but I would have had to set it up before.
No, it's all good. But I'll send you some tracks, and like, or when I do the next K-pop show in Chicago, like come watch, and you'll be like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so you started this weekly K-pop party, and are you still doing it or no?
So we evolved it because we did the K-pop stuff for 3 years, just K-pop. Then like everything has like a natural course. So then we evolved it into like K-pop and house because they kind of the higher energy. And I brought another DJ, so I still will do the Fridays like once or twice a month, but then. I'm gonna burp. I don't know if I should. We'll see if I can hold it in.
You could let it off on the side.
I'm trying to. It's like it's floating. It's teasing me.
All right, maybe it'll come out as a fart.
Yeah, maybe. I was hoping I'd have some protein farts. Long drink is dope, by the way. When I was drinking, long drink.
That's what we like to hear. This is the sponsor of the pod, baby. The main sponsor, keeping this whole ship afloat. Long drink is a legendary Finnish favorite that's been around since the 1952 Summer Games. It's a deliciously refreshing blend of premium liquor, natural grapefruit flavor, and just the right amount of carbonation. Honestly, this is the stuff right here. White is sugar-free, blue is citrus, orange is peach, red is cranberry, black is extra strength, and they're all fire. New flavors dropping soon, so watch out for those. And they're just the best sponsor for this podcast. So the next time you're tuning in, make sure you crack open a long drink, enjoy one while you're watching the show, because good vibes deserve great drinks. Let's go, champ. We're back to the episode. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, it's a Finnish, it's a Scandinavian Viking drink. So
Yeah, you are a Viking. You walked in here, I forgot how tall you are, or maybe you're just on TRT or something.
I don't know. I don't think I've experimented with special sports supplements, but it doesn't grow you taller. I'm 6'2".
You are a large Viking man.
I am half Norwegian and half Scottish. So I'm a Viking in a kilt.
Long Drink is about to drop in a couple weeks a whole new, I'm sorry that you're not drinking anymore, but they are about to drop a whole new array of sugar-free flavors.
Nice. Yeah, the sugar-free, I mean, you can't have that fucking sugar bomb.
It's too much sugar. It's like any seltzers, High Noons and all them. They're like
Corona has theirs, and it's like, dude, after 2 of these, you're like, what's my name? Like, I'm like, are you drunk? Like, no, I have a fucking headache from the sugar.
A sugar high.
Yeah. Shit. So back to the K-pop thing. So we did it for 3 years, and then it turned into K-pop house. And then just naturally the timing, because there's a lot of things. Like, there's a few business partners I work with, some great men, some great mentors. I was thinking about that. I've been thinking about that a lot recently too. There's a handful, like two, three guys, specifically one that I've been working with really closely for years, who is like Batman. And there's another guy who's like, these guys are grown men with families and business who are like super hardworking, extremely disciplined, and very honorable and very generous, but very cutthroat. And being around them for so many years, like, I feel like it's come to a, what's it called? Like a climax, when like you can only be around something for so long before you start to like become like it. And that's been a part of like where I guess I found myself today, is like rubbing off on these guys who are better than men than me. But I don't even know how that fucking related to the K-pop.
K-pop. Bring it back to K-pop.
Yeah. So
you're on a Trump. What does he call it? He calls his little fucking
the weave.
Yes, weave.
The weave. Well, one of the guys is because there's some projects involving K-pop that are in the works and could be really cool things. In one of those guys is one of the guys I'm talking about.
Right.
There we go. The seatbelt's back on.
Got him.
I need a helmet, dude.
I thought I was the high one.
What's up?
I thought I was the high one.
Dude, I'm high on freaking LIFE, bro.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so then this out of the blue, I mean, it's, man, ever since I really started following I'm just trying to make just stopping before every decision and stop being like a fucking, an R word, a retard, and just being like, okay, don't, anything you're trying to do, just focus and try to make the best decision. Ever since I started really trying to get there, and it all climaxed to like kind of where I'm at now, these random things were just falling out of the sky, like blessings. Like you think about something, you look right, there it is. And as the K-pop thing started to morph, then all of a sudden, this guy, it's called the You Had to Be There tour. He does pop-up parties. He does the Taylor Swift, the Bollywood, the K-pop. He just reached out and was like, hey, I need a DJ for Chicago, and then another date. And we had like a 45-minute combo, and I basically told him, like, as humbly as I can say, I'm like, I'm not your typical DJ. I'm an operator for a hospitality group. I'm a father of 3. I've been in the game for a long time. There's no one else you could rely on more than me. And I'll always get the job done 100%, like, in crush. And we had that conversation. And then he said, okay, can you do the 7 Midwest dates? Like, after that conversation, like, instead of just Chicago, can you do Chicago, Milwaukee, Iowa, St. Louis, Indiana, and Urbana? So I did that in the fall, and then I'm doing it in the spring.
Are you driving around?
Yeah. So I just cruise. It's like everything's within 3 hours. He does a hotel for the night. It's cool because, like, I'm
That's
super
lit. I want to come one day.
Bro, 100%.
I want to carry your crates.
Yeah, right. Every stop, I'm like, maybe I know somebody there, maybe I don't. I'm like, there could be 10 people here. I've done like 13 of the shows, every single one has been a banger. But they always start, you don't know who's going to show up. They're like earlier shows. They'll be like 18 plus, 21 plus. It's 8 p.m. show and 8 or 9 p.m. show till 11 or midnight. And I do a 3-hour set and we coordinate. So in town, there'll be a local dance crews. Like, this is a whole other aspect that's like so cool about it. So basically, all the K-pop artists, they are these really like militant, organized groups. They come up with these choreographies for their songs and make music videos. Then the whole world who loves these people, they organize into K-pop dance crews, and then they basically mimic and try to replicate the choreography in a competitive style. Like, you got served, but like for real. So there's these K-pop dance crews all over, everywhere. So every city we go to, I set up for sound check. There's like anywhere from 2 to 8 dance crews. At U of I, there's 70 people there. They all run through their tracks. They all perform on stage. They rehearse, and then we do the show. I DJ, and then I announce them one by one. They come out, and it's like a interactive performance or interactive DJ set performance, and the people just lose their minds. And these people kill it.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Wait, so when's the next time you're playing in Chicago?
But we got to see. I'm doing Iowa in 2 weeks. And then Chicago, we did Bottom Lounge in the fall. We haven't done Bottom Lounge again, but we might do the venue that I work at, which you can figure out.
Right. But even like you were saying, sometimes you do the Friday nights there.
Oh, so I mean, that I think I'm actually playing this Friday, but it's a different vibe. So like at the bar, the Korean bar downtown, so we have 2 spots that I'll DJ at, and like one's the Korean's bar and then one's a sports bar next to it. It's a bar scene. So like back when we first started the K-pop party, it was like crazy energy. And it's an interesting thing with the K-pop crowds. They're not really big drinkers, so you have to like manage it. I also do this K-pop boat party. Dude, you got to come on the boat party.
First and foremost, I just want to see you play and hear some sort of K-pop that people are are reacting to.
Yeah. That you got to come to a show, not the bar then, because the bar is like, it's more of a background now. It kind of started off as like, but it was almost overwhelming, just like because it was really fresh. So like we have patrons in the bar trying to eat and drink, and then you have kind of a whole swath of people.
You got a dance battle happening next to them.
Yeah, like literally. So the frequencies were kind of like misaligned, and now it's kind of tuned itself out. It's tuned into like to what it's supposed to be. So I'll play, but it's not like what I'm describing with the shows, when I don't want to spoil it for you. I want to give you the
well, I'm gonna look up some K-pop. Like, I'm curious now.
Dude, if you
if
you go on my Instagram and look at the post I did on Dorian Westwood, you can slide through and see like 300 people pausing the Gangnam Style and then fucking going crazy. And you can see the dance battles. I literally posted like 12 clips.
Gangnam Style K-pop?
So that's funny. I use that as a reference because like that's the kind of like tongue-in-cheek song that I play for everyone, because Psy is a Korean artist, but it's not a like K-pop song, but everyone knows it, and it's like kind of like one of the fan favorites, So I'll play like all of the music that I'm playing goes hard as hell, for real. And it's like very unique, and people are wild now. And then you play Gangnam Style, and it's like this, like I do it after I've won them over, sufficiently and whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a peak night thing.
So when do you start making K-pop music?
Dude, this is it's I've started working on a couple of like remix projects that I haven't finished. And like two of the people, this is how crazy this is, man. 2 of the people who are my tenants in my studio at Fort Knox, one is a K-pop performer and the other one is a K-pop producer. And it just came together.
All of this just happened.
Dude, I'm like, was I like, a K-pop star in a past life? Like, what's going on?
You were definitely Korean in a past life, for sure. 100%.
It's something, I'm like, just everything is like coming from this like Korean angle. So much stuff. And I'm like, hey, I'm here for it, But as I said, you have to like let go, after you, in order to get to where you are now, where you're killing it with the podcast, and by killing it, I mean, I'm not talking about metrics or anything like that. Like, success is like the act of doing something, that you're passionate about, and has a direction pointed, So you being bold and confident in doing the podcast, in being consistent and not giving up, like that is just success right there, and you have to see where it takes you. You have to see what doors open up and what paths open up. And in order to kind of get there or have that opportunity, you have to like let go of things from the past, which for me was, the Milk and Cooks thing. It was like you gotta like break up with it. I lost my train of thought again.
No, what you're saying is definitely correct. And thank you. I appreciate the compliments.
Dude, I mean, you're one of the people that I see, and it inspires me, because like we haven't seen each other in years, and I just see you won't go away, like in a good way.
Yeah.
You won't, in like you're a guy that like is like, I can see this motherfucker's never gonna give up, never gonna surrender. Like, and if you will never stop, one, either the universe is going to mold itself around you, so that it gives you what you've been, saying you are going to be, or you just enjoy the journey, the whole time. It's better than just moping around and thinking about what could be, what if,
For sure. No, I feel exactly what you're saying. Like just the consistency and doing it and being ready to take advantage of anything that comes your way.
That's exactly. And that's where the K-pop thing came. I was 3 years prepping, being a student, gathering all the music. I got the call, went in, murdered it. And he calls me the next day. He's like, yeah, everyone said you were amazing. And it was the first time doing that. And I was like, this is so fun. And now I go up to these shows and I'm like so relaxed. I'm at Hot Dave's in Indiana, the chicken place.
Yeah.
Bro, they would not get the fucking chicken ready. I'm 3 minutes from the venue. In my car's hazarding outside. I'm supposed to be on at 8 o'clock. It's like 7:44, 7:51, 7:55, and I'm like trying not to like show that I'm like, hey, I gotta be on stage in like 4 minutes to the people, because I don't want to project my energy towards them, but they could tell. They're like, I ordered like 50 minutes ago.
You're a big angry Viking waiting for your chicken.
Not even angry. I'm a stoic, but I don't know, because at 7:59 I was gonna walk out the door, and just go play and say fuck the chicken. And they got it to me, and I like. But this is the point is like showing you how relaxed I've come, is that I text the guy, hey, come back with the Hot Daves. I'll be on at 8:05. He's just like, you're good. And I just pull in, type in the code, run in. I got the Hot Daves. I go in the green room, just jam 3 of them in my mouth, 3 of the chicken bites in my mouth, just grab my headphones and run right on stage, and then just boom, right on. Rip it. And like, it was like my heart rate wasn't elevated. I wasn't tripping. Like the crowd's packed, and like, they don't know who I am, so the first 20 minutes you got to win them over. It was back to you, like staying consistent and having a direction. What's your and now you got to tune it up, right? It's like every time you see an opportunity, like you said, being prepared for any opportunity, but like once you become conscious of like a way you can get better, you kind of gotta like, if you don't do it, it's like, oh.
Yeah, you're slipping up. You're not doing what needs to be done.
Like that's where like the whole like decisions thing is like, I just stopped drinking because I was like, there's shit I have to do right now. Like I cannot be distracted with it. Like I can't be distracted with any of this. There's so much opportunity like right in the palm of my hand. I've set this whole circumstances up, and now I got to execute. And the
Norman watch.
What you don't want to happen is that, like, when you leave it all on the court, right? Playing football, basketball, whatever. Like, if you practiced as hard as best you could, made all the best decisions, you prepared, you played the best game you could have played, and you lose, you're fine. Your soul is free. And it's the same thing with business and life. Like, if situations come and it just doesn't work out, but you did everything in your power, then that's fine. That just means that it's a different path or a different doorway to take you somewhere else. But if you didn't do those things, that stuff can eat at you,
Yeah. It's, to me, I see a lot of people that have the mentality of like slipping up is fine because it is, and it's going to happen. But you can't have that mentality. I think
well, it's crazy because you don't want to tell people what to do, but it's like, you know, you want to be motivating, but you also only want to care about yourself and not impose. But, you know, go on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like well, I'm doing all right. Like, I fucked up. I did this. I did that. I know I fucked up, but like, it could be worse. Or it's what it is. It's fine. It's like, yeah, you're right. Beating yourself up is definitely not a good thing. And I do that a lot. I do that constantly. I need to not be so hard on myself, but also you need to be somewhat hard on yourself.
Well, it could be worse. I have a great example of that. And it should be saved when things happen to you, not because of you. So, like, if you're making a decision and then you fuck things up or you make things shitty and you're saying it could be worse, like, no. Like, that's not going to get you nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's bad vibe. It's not bad vibe. It's low frequency, right?
Yeah.
Because you're trapped in your own fucking box. For example, I was going to U of I 2 weeks ago. Got my car, my Sorrento. I'm driving downtown and I'm running. I go to my studio to pick up the gear. I get downtown. It's raining out. I'm working in the office downtown from like 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I got to leave by 2:30 so I can get to sound check by 6 or 5:30. And then the doors were at 7. And I got to rehearse these dance groups, whatever. 2.5 hour drive, leaving the city, raining. I pull downtown and at 1 o'clock, my fucking right outside the bar that I work at, my engine light comes on and starts flashing. And it's like, I'm looking at it, it's like serious shit. And the car goes into limp mode, which is like only goes 20 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
And I have like all my clothes, my DJ shit, everything. And I have like 90 minutes to leave. Or else I'm doing Champaign on Friday and then I'm doing Milwaukee on Saturday. And I'm sitting in front of the bar and I'm like, okay. Like, I literally was like, dude, I'm like, so like on this like sober run. Like, I was like, I'm mentally prepared for this. I literally, the first thing I said was like, I'm not going to let nothing get me off of my game. Stay tight, think about what you got to do and handle this shit right now. Do not let any fucking negative thought or anything even, come near me. Literally called State Farm, boom. So the car's in front of the bar. And this is what I was saying. Oh, like, everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's like this whole story that I'm about to tell. I'm like, dude, imagine if it happened halfway on the road down to Champaign, in the middle of fucking nowhere. So I unload my car. State Farm gets there. State Farm tows my car to Kia in Lincolnwood on the north side.
Shouts to Lincolnwood.
They paid for it because it was in the towing range. Okay, cool. That's covered. I'm on foot running around the city in the rain trying to find a rental. Hertz. They let me rent a car. I go into Hertz. I wait for 15 minutes to go, oh man, we don't got any cars. Like, they just let you do it. I'm like, oh my God, what? And I'm like, I got like 45 minutes to leave before it's crunch time.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm running around. I go to National Car Rental, get the car. Okay, cool. I pay for the rental car, drive back to the bar, pack up all my shit, get my ass on the road, get down there, make it. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Now, I don't know what's wrong with my car. I got 3 kids. They got in school and shit. I'm like the fucking thing just went limp. It could be the transmission. That could be like, I still owe a little money on it. It could be totaled, right? And I was just I basically, said some prayers, made a deal that if the car made it through the checkup, that I would never sell the car and I would never trade it in. I would drive it till the wheels fall off. Then, so State Farm pays for the tow. Kia calls me 5 days later. Hey, this part was fucked up, part of a recall. We're gonna pay for all of it. You're good. And then Kia's like, we'll pay for the rental you had to get to. Okay, you're good. Everything recouped, and like, and I had to get my car towed, had to rent the car, whatever. And all I could think was, what if that had happened halfway down the road? Not in front of my bar where I could unload all my gear. I had an open area the guy could tow me. I had a fucking rental car within jogging distance in the rain, like, and it was just like bullet points, boom, 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 boom. Had to go get it done, and I was like, just filled with gratitude for the fact that it was all accomplished. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it could be worse, because it's something that happened to me. I can't believe it. No. It could be way fucking worse. I didn't cause that, If I totaled my car or like totaled someone else's car, and they're like, "You just totaled my car." And I go, "Oh, it could be worse." Dude, like, it's your fucking fault, bro.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. That's 100% true.
Yeah, and it was intense, but it was like, I'm like, okay, I'm proud that I'm in this locked in state where I can like accomplish like a series of like grown man things to like get my ass to the, because I was like, I'm not missing this fucking show.
Anything, yeah. That's that like fucking flow state, right? Where it's just, that doesn't matter. Nothing matters because you could fucking handle anything.
Exactly, and you're not gonna let, because. And I mean, this is what I tell my sons. I'm like, I'm like, you're not gonna understand now, but you'll understand it later. Like, you are not your thoughts. Like all the thoughts that, like, what one of the great quotes is, we don't think, thinking happens to us, and it's true. You just sit there like, we're here. Like, you're Zach, I'm James. This is like we're the eternal beings, right, of consciousness, and then like, there's just this machine. I literally think of it as like, I mean, it's just a random thought generator. Like, sure, there's some influence on it, but it's just shooting shit at you, seeing what you're gonna bite on, and like, you have to kind of choose good thoughts, but the bad ones will just you spray a Tommy gun at you.
Oh yeah.
And you gotta like dip and duck and dive, and not absorb it. And if you just let the shit pass through, you're like, oh yeah, that's not me.
Yeah, that's real shit. You're living with, there's like two things happening in your head at all times. There's the fucking
you, and then
there's some insane person in there. Like if the thoughts,
exactly, you're living with like a crazy motherfucker,
a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, but it's not you. It's
right.
just, it's this thing that can trick you into thinking it's you.
Yes.
And like, if you can separate yourself from it, like, what I've gotten to a point in that, this is advice for anyone, and for you too. Like, anytime something negative pops in your head, that's the trigger to understand that it's not you talking anymore. Like, literally any negative thing. I feel like shit. I'm just like, okay. Like, I'm like, all right, guy.
I don't have time for this.
Oh, guy, like you're just, because like the negative thoughts are the negative self-talk stuff that everybody has happened to them. You can hop on that train so quick. But I just try to recognize that, I wouldn't say that about myself. So like, I don't know who the fuck is saying that, but it's not me.
My brother once told me, like, he said you live with an insane person. Like sometimes your thoughts can be the same. Like, sometimes your thoughts can represent an insane person, and like, it's fine, because if you saw an insane person saying insane things, you would just be like, okay, it's just an insane, it's like a homeless guy walking the street in circles doing gypsy curses. Right. You don't think anything of it.
Doing donuts.
yeah, or that. You don't take those in and are like scared of them. Dude, you're just like,
that's an amazing way to put it, because exactly, you're not being personally affected by the crazy guy saying stuff, because you understand that it's not you.
And you understand he's just a crazy guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy guys say nonsense. Crazy things.
It's nonsense. And right, if you can really label that as like, okay, that is not who I am, because who you are is naturally good, naturally calm, like the golden energy, just chilling. And then there's triggers, or what is it called? Like stimuli. Yeah. Stimuli is like what wakes the crazy man up, because like meditating or whatever, you're like, or you're, that's no stimuli, right? You're just chilling. So like, you can find yourself, you can find the peace, like, oh, there's Zach. Like, and you're just chilling, whatever. And then you start introducing stimuli that's why I have, phones and all this shit. Like, people are crazy now, like social media, it's just nonstop, this barrage of like stimuli.
It's feeding that fucking demon,
bro. I mean, you could get so like trippy and deep with it.
Yeah.
Because it's in, yeah, man, it's just feeding the demon. Because I feel like, at a certain point, it's like, you're a host. Like, it's a, you know, when like a virus needs like a host, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, it's trying to like take over, like the crazy person or whatever. And when people become like negative, depressed people, or, you know, that don't do shit with their life or whatever, like I have some sympathy. I really don't know the difference between like empathy and sympathy. You know, like personally, I'm like, they feel the same to me. But I have some of that for people, like, especially when like, you know, okay, I have sympathy and empathy for people who haven't seen that you can make the choice yet, right? Who like aren't aware that they're still trapped. They're still like, you know, in the gray zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh man, like, you know, you can only like motivate someone so much or yell at someone so much, but they're trapped in there. But once someone like, you know, snaps out of it and like has experienced like being in control of themselves and like really going on the right path, and then they continue to do the other thing, I'm like, that's on you, bro. You know?
Yeah.
Like if someone's self-destructive, you know?
Yeah, self-destructive.
The guy who's been sober for 6 months and then like, you know, starts doing heroin again, I'm just like, geez, bro, like, come on, you know, you already know what it's like.
You know what you got to do. But yeah, I mean, sometimes if you're not strong enough, if you're not stronger than the fucking demon, how are you going to beat it?
Yeah, sayonara, dude. And it's like, I don't know, it's crazy. Because it's funny you say the demon, because like, that's literally what I mean, I don't want to get too woo-woo spiritual. Sorry for the mic. It's like someone's on their ear pods, they just hear
the demon, and it's just fucking,
oh my gosh,
rumbling the mic.
Oh man, yeah. It is true. Like that, they pop out. Where you at, bro? Like I'm literally the guy that's like, bro, I'll have a fucking slap fight with you. Like, let's go, dog. Like, if I like some light switches going off in my house, and I'm like, you know, thinking it's a ghost or some shit, I'm just like, I'll straight up square up with you, bro.
Get the gat.
Just the police officers are over. They're like, so what are the 7 bullet holes? And it's just like a serious ass dude. He's like, I swear it was a fucking ghost.
Yeah, you should have seen him.
Yeah, it's like, well, imagine if a dude really did see a ghost, like there's like a full apparition. He's like shooting at it because like he's so tweaked out, but like, you know, the irony that like the ghost itself isn't like, you know, a physical thing, and the bullets just go through. Yeah, wait, you got any, speaking of ghosts, you got any good ghost stories, dude?
I don't have good ghost stories because I was never the guy that like seeked that out. There was the abandoned hospital near the town we grew up in, and kids Friday night, let's go over there to Maryville and fucking go inside and see what happens. I'm like, are you insane? Like, who asked for that? Right. You gotta be, okay, because you gotta be in a very like specific place, you know? Like you can't, if you're not, it's similar to like, you know, if you're doing like a hallucinogen, right? Acid or shrooms, like if you're in a really good, strong place before, you're going to have a good trip, you know? And if you're not, you're going to have a bad trip. And I think it's similar to like going into like a paranormal situation. Like if you're locked in and like, you're not going to like if you actually do get spooked and you actually do get creeped and like you stay or you don't run or you don't bring protection, like a fucking rosary or like literally garlic or whatever the fuck it is, like you could get, you know, some entity on you, right? But if you are like locked in, like these dudes that do like, okay, so for example, you know, like Skinwalker Ranch. Mm-mm. You don't know Skinwalker Ranch? Mm-mm. Skinwalker Ranch sounds like
the most paranormal place on earth.
Yeah, but also like a gay cowboy or something.
Yeah, for sure. For Skinwalker. For Skinwalker Ranch is the gay version. Yeah. But a Skinwalker is like the Navajo. It's like a, not Navajo, Native American, because I don't want to get things wrong, but it's a Native American, like basically they would curse the land that was being taken from them, and then certain people or the Native Americans themselves would like basically, either it's the people they cursed or the Native Americans themselves would turn into this like shapeshifter that would stick around. And it's a shape-shifting spirit that would like haunt the land. And apparently they're very real. And there's a ranch called Skinwalker Ranch where like these things are, you know, basically live. And there's like UFO sightings. There's like a TV show about it. And so the government owned it for like 20 or 30 years and was doing like full-on paranormal testing because it was that like obvious. Like people saying portals opening in the sky. Like there's an account of a guy having a sword fight with an alien, like seeing people from the Revolutionary War as apparitions, Bigfoot, like you name it. This ranch has got it.
Skinwalker Ranch is lit. Where's it at?
It's in the Uinta Basin in Utah. And what's funny is that it really is known as the most paranormal place ever. And like, there's a thing called the hitchhiker effect, so for these 20 years in the 90s, they had like U.S. military stationed there, and the officers would leave and basically go back to their families. And they said that the hitchhiker effect, entities would go with them. So they would start seeing these giant wolves in their backyard. Their kids would start seeing stuff. Their kids' friends at school would start seeing stuff because the energy kept passing through. But there's like tons of interviews of like high trust, high intelligence people, saying like what they saw and what they experienced. But the point of it is that there's a conference called Phenomicon, which is like all the paranormal, funny, crazy stuff. And I'm going to go to it in Utah, and there's a tour around the property of Skinwalker Ranch.
Are you going to that?
Yeah.
And you're not scared to get anything on you?
I'm hoping that you're touring the perimeter, so I don't know if we're going to cross the thing. But I'm in a place where like these guys, there's a show that's filmed on it with a camera crew. So like, like with like 20 people for 5 years, and a bunch of crazy shit happens on the show. The cameramen are like, they're like, oh, if this is such a spooky place, like, why can you guys film a show? And they're like, dude, we have to have like 5 times the amount of batteries than any other TV show. Like the shit gets drained all day long, like crazy shit. Like footage will just get deleted. But I just love it, and I think it's super interesting. And it's a show that History Channel films where they try to film it like they do everything else to make it like look fake, but there's so much real shit that like you could tell that it's like real stuff is going on. And then I seen like went to like a I guess a live show with, it's like scientists that were on the show, and they just gave like they showed videos and all this stuff of like the guys, like some of the stuff that doesn't make on the show. He's like, me and Caleb were like in our bunks. He's like in our beds are just being thrown up and down, like they're in the beds like rumbling up and down, and it's just like stuff that's never gonna go on the cameras and whatever. But
that's insane. I could never stick around for that.
I think I know, right? Exactly.
I'm like, I'm going home.
I think it's gonna be like a golf cart, like drive around it. But bro, they literally see like in the words of our youth, hella UFOs like on the show. So, and I want to see. My mom saw a UFO when she was younger. Like, I never seen one. I definitely think they're real. I love the idea of it. So I'm like, okay, let's go get it. Let's go get that UFO sighting.
That'd be fucking crazy. I mean, I'm ready for the aliens, if we're being honest. It's time.
Dude, Tucker Carlson did an interview. He was saying like
the guy that sucked Barack Obama's dick.
That was a different interview, but
same Tucker, different interview.
Same Tucker. But he said that like the UFOs are coming out of the ocean.
Yeah,
which
I think I saw. Some
I'm like,
clips.
yeah, that's so cool to me. It's so cool. Like
they say it makes sense, right? Because it's like
so vast,
and we can't get down there, and there's just so much room down there to fucking do whatever you want and build anything, and nobody could see it.
Just Obama's down there, just fucking.
His chef's down there, probably.
Yeah, he's for sure down there. He was on his way there. Oh gosh.
All right, we got to wrap it up though. It's getting late. We're having fun. We should definitely do this again. When's your brother coming back in town? Do you have any idea?
I'm like, I look to my watch to see when he's coming to town.
Soonish?
I don't know about he's about to have a baby.
Oh, that's right.
He's got a boy. Yeah, so
that's
soonish.
Right.
I don't know.
That's right.
But like, we can figure it out. But I mean, me and you could, we can chat, we can hang out. You got to come to I got to get you to a K-pop show, and then this thing that I didn't want to talk about now, but maybe if we did this again in a couple months, that project would be launched, and it would be very specific to our worlds. I'll tell you off the air, but
Okay, dope.
but it's a cool thing.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you should definitely come back. I want to. Do you have a drum kit in your studio space by any chance?
Actual drum kit?
Yeah.
No, but I could. I'll explain why I could put one in there once we get off.
All right. Yeah, you should put one in there. I'll come rent a space from you in there.
Do you? So you are. Did I know you were a drummer?
No, I played the drums a little bit when I was younger, but now I'm in love with it, bro. It's my favorite.
So do you
thing
need
to
a
do.
place to play the drums?
I'm about to renovate the basement at the end of March, so I'll have space down there. I'm moving all this shit down there.
Nice.
But I go to Fort Knox and I just rent a room in there and fucking
Really?
bang out.
How often have you been there?
10 times.
When was the last time?
Before I went to Arizona, like December.
Oh, 10. That's not that often, but I'm there all the time.
Are you?
Yeah, room 99, bro. Just come and knock
I'm gonna
it.
hit you up. Yeah.
Yeah. Sick. Well, thanks for having me. It's great to talk. I love having the random life combos, bro.
Yeah, it's great. You're fantastic. You got a lot to say. You're
Sorry if I blabbered too much.
No, it's fine. You got good things, good information, viable secrets and
Viable Secrets that's the name of a new podcast. Viable Secrets. Who's not listening to that podcast, bro? I'm like, yo, give me this shit right now.
You got good advice, and you're one of those guys that you can look at and just tell from your the smile on your face and your physical stature that you take care of yourself and the things you're saying are actually valid.
I appreciate
it. It's not, there's a lot of people that can talk, but they don't fucking do the work.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's like,
They
how am
smell
I
like
going to
shit.
take advice from you right now? Like,
For
what do
sure.
I want? Anything you're going to tell me that's going to make me anything like you, I don't want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
dude, yeah. and they're missing the whole like irony of it all. But I appreciate it, and thanks for having me. And yeah, like the most important thing is build a family, and take care of yourself, and find meaning in your life. It's like basically that will bring you peace. Happiness is up and down, kind of whatever, but you just want to find some peace and enjoy it.
That's beautiful. We'll leave it with that. Thank you guys for watching. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like the video, drop a comment, algorithm activating activity. Let's go, champ. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Well, alright. Battle raps cause I've shaken grown men to the point that they can't even face their own friends. That's why they rhyme about jewels, not life, cause the ice on which they skating is so thin. That's what I love about the human soul. It'll usually show when the truth ain't told. Use a lie.